What do you guys, we start with TJ, expect to see which rider has the most to prove the second half of the season, but really from the start of the second part of the season, this round coming up, which rider in your eyes has the most to prove?
Has the most what?
Most to
Most
prove, you know,
approved.
most to prove, you know, like, you know, which one's going to be fighting the most? Who, you know, obviously, Mark's doing
I
what
think
he's doing, so it's going to be everyone else. And who do you think is going to be, you know, fighting, fighting for second place or third place?
I think it's probably going to continue as what we've seen. I think Alex Marquez will probably get back on his wave that he was on.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he'll be fighting for his second place. But who I want to see fighting up there is Jorge Martin. I know he just came back, but he's very competitive and he has the pace and he's a champion. So it'll be cool to see him come back second half of the season and shake the season up a little bit. So I would
Right.
love to see him fight for second or third or top five. But I see mostly Alex.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you think that's fair for him just racing 2 rounds so far?
Yeah.
One and a half.
He's been practicing. They all been pretty much practicing, but it seems like he's been going pretty strong since that this last round of racing and going into the summer break. So we'll see. When he came
Okay.
back, he was pretty competitive as we saw. He didn't finish terribly. So
Okay. All right. I like that. I can see. Oh, hey, Martine. What are you thinking, Reese?
Uh, I gotta go with Alex. I
Wow.
mean, I gotta go with him
He's
because
still proven.
he's still proven. There's going to be a point in time where you're just going to get tired of being second banana. It's going to be a time where that's going to piss you off too much. So, I know that's your brother and everything else, but there's going to be a time where, it's just going to be like, I can't do this anymore. I got to get in front of my brother. I was the same way with my younger brother. My younger brother started riding with me. Well, I started riding with him, and he was faster than me, and I was like, I got to beat your ass. So I got to give it to Alex. I got to give it to him. He's got more to prove. He's got something to
Yeah.
prove, saying I'm better than just second.
And probably a little bit more pressure since that's a sibling, right? It's tough when, it's a non-sibling and you can hate the guy, but it's just when it's just your sibling, it's really hard to navigate that.
Right.
So what do you think?
This one's a hard one because there's a couple of guys that have a lot to prove. Like there's some guys that have some stuff to prove just to keep a job. And then
Right.
there's guys that have stuff to prove because they should be doing better than they're doing or they're underperforming overall. Like for instance, I hate to say Luca Marini, he might not have a job at the end of this year, or he's gonna have to find a job somewhere else. So Honda doesn't seem super psyched to re-sign him. He hasn't had the greatest results. He's also been injured, and now he's coming back from injury. There's a lot of things working against him, and he really does have to step up to try to get a new contract with Honda. And then the other one that I think has the biggest spotlight on him is Bagnaia, especially going into this coming weekend, because Bagnaia has technically won the last 5 races at the Red Bull Ring, including sprint races. So for the last 5 times that they've gridded up at this track to have a race, whether there's a sprint race or a race, he's been on the top step of the podium. And now if he goes to this track that potentially he's supposed to be first and he gets the floor cleaned up by him, if Bezzecchi beats him, if Marquez beats him, if Alex beats him, if all these other guys beat him, it's just putting more pressure on him, to kind of admit, he's not the guy anymore. And that's a tough, very tough pill to swallow when you've been that guy.
I agree. I think that Raul, even though he has a contract for next year, I think Raul has a lot to prove as well. I think the KTM boys got a lot to prove. All of them got a lot. I feel bad for Maverick because I think he's been the most consistent one since Austin. But his injuries, obviously, we'll see what he looks like when he comes back from injury and stuff. He'll come back, from injury, because I think he was out. What do you guys think about VR46 Academy riders? Hopefully Morbidelli will be back and healthy and stuff like that. Do you think Digia has a lot to prove to show that he deserves that 26 factory bike next year?
I mean, I feel like
To
they
get a factory
always
bike?
Well, he has a factory bike now, but will he retain it for 2026, or will that go to Alex or someone else?
I mean, I feel like they always got something to prove. Just being a part of the VR46 Academy, it's just you're just like not an outsider, but you're part of a club that's in a series. So I feel like you always got something to prove. Always the spotlight on you. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know about the factory seat going forward, but Digi definitely deserves it. I don't know about Morbidelli. I mean, I know he's been doing well, but I don't know. It's tough. I think one or the other is going to have to give it up.
Yeah, I don't think Morbidelli should get it. Unless he has an unbelievable second half of the season. I think it'll be between Digia and Alex Marquez for next season.
I can agree to that.
Gear, but I don't think so. Second,
I said I can agree with that between Digio and Alex, but I mean he's still got a lot to prove. Digio still got a lot to prove. You're supposed to be what is it? Him on a factory bike so far. But he's still not proven to be up there as many times as the other guys were back, before on a factory bike.
Right.
So it's like, what are you really doing? They're all on the same identical bike and you're still way back there, or you're having problems or this. So my thing is, you have a lot to prove in the second half, or, to actually do it. So, if anybody, I would say before him, it'd probably go to Alex, because Alex has been there to prove it.
Yeah, I think when you're wearing that fluo yellow and you're on that team, you got a little bit more heat on you, got a little bit more spotlight on you, and they expect more from you. And even though they're very close in points, Digi is not very consistent. He'll have flashes of brilliance in some races, and then he can't put three corners together in another race. And Morbidelli, it really comes down to recklessness. He rides reckless sometimes, and that costs him points, that costs him positions, that costs him penalties. If he just kind of stopped being as reckless as he is, they're only 3 points apart. Morbidelli has actually had better starting positions than the Gian Antonio. And in most of the races, if you really recall, Morbidelli has outperformed the Gian Antonio a little bit more consistently on a regular basis. It's just Morbidelli has also had more visits to the crash truck, has had more penalties, has had to do a lot of long lap penalties, grid penalties, all this other stuff. And it kind of has bit him in the ass. But right now they're 5th and 6th in the overall point standing, and they're only 3 points apart. So even with all the bullshit that Morbidelli has done, he's only 3 points behind the guy in the box next to him. If Morbidelli would take the second half of the season to kind of do a hard reset, stop riding like an a-hole, and just put your head down, and seriously put your head down, do the work, stop using everybody as a berm, and just outride them. Don't try to out muscle them, don't try to out bully them. I think at the end of the year, Morbidelli could be ahead of the Gian Antonio in the final points. I'm always rooting for Morbidelli, but he does it to himself. Nobody else does it to him. He does it to himself. He's his own worst enemy.
Yeah, no. If I was a betting guy and bet on him, I'd have lost everything, because he shows flashes and it's just not there. And and I've been rooting for the guy, and I think next year he'll be better. But I think also the second half of the season, I hope that. I know we know Rossi's in his ear and all the right people in his ear telling him all the right things. But it's one thing to hear it; it's another thing to go out there and do it.
Right now, he doesn't have a contract for next year. He's the guy walking around the paddock looking for work. So, this second half of the season is going to be really important because, again, he's a VR46 guy. They might want to keep him, but if they really wanted to keep him, would they have given him only a 1-year contract to begin with? Like, this is this is almost like your proving grounds. Let's see what you're about.
Yeah.
Let's see where you end up. I think if he ends up in front of the Jan Antonio at the end of the year, VR46 has to re-sign him.
Yeah, I agree with that.